I have the button too. All right, welcome everyone. Today is February 24th, and you are here for the weekly Muckboots in the Capitol update on the Oregon legislature with Friends of Family Farmers. Thank you for joining us today. And if you're watching the recording, thank you for joining us any day. Today, I am your presenter. My name is Alice Morrison. I'm the co-executive director of Policy and Development for Friends of Family Farmers, and I am the head of our advocacy program. So today we are going to talk briefly about our priority updates. We're going to talk about one hearing that's coming up this week, a bill that we're watching that I've been getting a lot of emails about and am happy to talk with folks on, and then Action Now, especially our upcoming Rally Day, because today is February 24th and our Small Farms Mean Business Rally Day is Tuesday, March 4th. So it is coming up just next week, and that will be a theme of today's presentation is sign up for Rally Day. All right, so priority updates for FOF. We have two priority areas. The state meat inspection program, we have been putting together HB 2164. It passed out of House Agriculture the week before last, which is amazing. Lovely to see it moving this far this early in the session. It is going down to Ways and Means. So because this is primarily a bill requesting money from the state to be put toward a program, it goes to Ways and Means because the Joint Committee on Ways and Means, which means there's senators and representatives together in that committee, and that is where all bills that have a price tag end up. And so our bill, because it is in one of the natural resource agencies for the Department of Agriculture, it has been assigned to the Subcommittee on Natural Resources in the Joint Ways and Means Committee. And the next steps will be there. So that means that this bill is not going to go over to the Senate. It goes to the Joint Ways and Means Committee, and that is its next step. I did want to mention that related to state meat inspection, there is another bill related to this topic. It's SB 809, and that is a bill that had a hearing last week that we were able to come and testify on, and it is an expansion of the state meat inspection program, which we are advocating for more staffing for. And SB 809 expands the state meat inspection program to allow poultry operations to poultry processing operations to take advantage of the state meat inspection program. When that program was originally authorized, there was a disagreement with USDA about the language that was included in the authorization. And so they were not allowed to include poultry in their cooperative agreement with USDA for inspection because of the way the original bill was worded from the legislature. So this is kind of an administrative fix to allow facilities who process poultry to participate in the state meat inspection program. This is great. We have some facilities in our network who are really excited about this because they're right now there are two options for non-USDA poultry folks here in Oregon. We have the 1,000-bird exemption, which allows a farmer to process up to 1,000 birds on farm, but you have to sell them directly from the farm, and you also have to sell them whole. They have to be whole birds. You can't part them out. And if you don't have access to a USDA poultry slaughter facility, which there are very few in the state, you can use one of the state inspected facilities that are operating now, but those have limits of you are allowed to operate one for 20,000 birds of your own and take in 20,000 birds from other farmers if you have a small enterprise exemption. And that 40,000 bird limit is a constraint to growth on some of the folks in our network who want to be able to serve their community better and take in more birds from other farms and really meet the demand for poultry and poultry products in the local food space. So SB 809 would allow them to do so. Really excited to see that moving forward. And that had a hearing last week. So that's state meat inspection. All right. Small farm water access. So I want to clarify that we are working on 3722. That is our placeholder bill. It's in House Ag. We did start out in the Senate, but have moved over to the House for our placeholder. And I want to clarify that this is only about domestic wells for commercial irrigation. We are not making changes to existing water rights in this bill. And this is a placeholder bill on OLIS. So if you go to OLIS and look up this bill number, there's not going to be a lot there because we were continuing to negotiate in this space because this is a very contentious issue. If you've been following us since late in 2023, when folks first started bringing this issue forward to us, we have been working diligently to try to negotiate a viable path forward. There are a lot of stakeholders in this space, and there's a lot of diverse opinions on whether exempt wells and domestic wells should be allowed to be used for any small scale commercial production. And we've been trying to thread the needle between providing a stepping stone or a small scale option for folks entering the ag space and not exacerbating any existing or worsening ecosystem problems when it comes to sensitive aquifers and watersheds. So we have been working diligently in the background on this, and we finally got a draft of the solution. We would love to discuss it very specifically with you. If you reach out to me directly, and after the recording is stopped on this, the legislator in charge has asked us not to release the text until the amendment is posted on OLIS, but everyone who has reached out to me about this has received an email from me to talk through the specifics and make sure this would solve your problem. What I can say is that in general, this proposal includes some of the things that we have been talking about, including a registration for OWRD for small farm commercial irrigation, half acre, 5,000 gallons per day. This is something that we've talked about the entire time we've discussed this problem. There also will be some measurement or reporting in the solution, especially in sensitive areas. And there will be other trade-offs and guardrails to make sure that this is a balanced approach that does not irresponsibly increase overall water use. We have been promised a hearing on this bill and are very excited to continue this conversation. So as soon as we are allowed to, we will be releasing a full analysis on this concept. And if you want to get involved on this issue and want to speak directly to lawmakers and make sure that they understand how important it is that we do not drag our feet on this process, please attend our Small Farms Mean Business Rally Day. We will be speaking in excruciating detail to legislators about this topic and all of your questions and concerns. This is really the place to voice those. So I hope that you are able to attend. And my contact information is at the end of this presentation. So if you want to reach out individually and talk more about this exciting development before it becomes public, reach out to me. But otherwise, stay tuned for further analysis. Okay, we have one hearing this week that I wanted to highlight. So we are getting into the session, the time in session where agency budgets are coming up for their hearings in the Ways and Means Committee. And the Oregon Watershed Enhancement Board, which is where the Oregon Ag Heritage Program, which we supported in HB 3131, OAHP is administered by OWEB. So they do have $2 million funding line item in OWEB's budget. HB 3131 represents the entirety of the necessary state match so that we can take advantage of all of the shovel-ready projects that are ready to go right now. Conservation easements lined up, conservation management plans already in the works. And so we are going to be sending out some info from our friends at Oregon Ag Trust and the Oregon Agricultural Heritage Program, because there is a hearing on the 26th at 3 p.m. and written testimony is due on the 28th at 3 p.m. So we're just going to say, hey, love this program for the reasons we already know. Please maintain this funding, and it needs more funding. Look at HB 3131. So very consistent messaging with earlier in the session, trying to make sure that we don't miss out on an opportunity to connect the dots for legislators that these two things are interrelated. Okay, so I wanted to talk about a bill that we are watching that I've gotten a lot of communication about in the last week, HB 3419. So this is a bill that did not have a lot of fanfare around it, and actually I didn't know about until the hearing had already happened. And I just wanted to say that we are tracking this. And I wanted to kind of level set and take questions from folks to make sure, because we've been seeing a lot of activity on social media that are claiming about 3 or 4 steps down the road from what the bill actually says. And I want us to be clear about what the bill says versus where we could extrapolate out some like further steps down the road. So, what the bill actually says is that it allows OWRD to adopt rules to require measurement and reporting of ground and surface water use, pretty much all types. So, irrigation water rights, exempt uses, um, like in-stream and conservation uses, scenic waterways, all kinds of things are included in this, and to allow OWRD to adopt rules in the future to require measurement and reporting of flow rates, distribution amounts, area of application, point of diversion. There are lots of things that are encompassed in that, but it does not automatically require those things. It allows OWRD to adopt rules to require them in the future should they deem it necessary and assign civil penalties for violation of those measurement and reporting rules that could be adopted in the future. So it opens the door for OWRD to require reporting on a lot of those things. It also establishes rules and requirements for the water measurement cost share program. So I think this is an acknowledgement that if we are going to require measurement and reporting on a very large scale, that is going to cost a lot of individuals a lot of money. And so this also establishes some rules going forward for the funding of the water management or water measurement cost share program, which is mandated in the statute to be a 75% cost share, which means the state would pay 75% of your costs for a meter. It also does something called establishment of water data priority areas. So this is areas where that could be used to determine where OWRD requires measurement and reporting. And this is a new classification that is established in the bill to create areas where this agency is prioritizing the collection of water data. So, I mean, that's a lot of words to say the same thing that is in the title, but it's places where there is over appropriation, which is most places, given our prior appropriation system of water rights, places with declining groundwater levels, places with surface water decline, and places where water data is unavailable. So honestly, that part of it could be interpreted to mean lots of parts of the state. So that is what is in the bill. What it is not, which I've been seeing online, is an automatic requiring for metering of all water users in Oregon or a mandate to pay for water usage in domestic wells. There is nothing in this bill that mandates that people will then have to be charged a per gallon fee for use of their domestic well. I want to be clear about what this bill is and what it is not, so that if we need to take action, we're doing it based on what the bill is and not feeding into panic around some things that are very scary. So that's just where we are with 3419. We're still digging into some particulars with the department, and we have some questions out to the bill sponsors that we are trying to get more information about how they think this will apply. There's a lot of clarifying of authority in this bill, and we're trying to get more information about the intention and the rollout and the timelines associated with this so that we can determine what level of priority this actually is. So please stay tuned for more info on our analysis of this bill. I just wanted to acknowledge that we've received a lot of correspondence about this, and to our knowledge and my interpretation of the text and the expert opinions that we've gathered so far, this is not an automatic requirement of metering for all water users, and it is not a mandate to pay for water usage in domestic wells. So I just want to make that clear. But it does allow OWRD to perhaps require measurement and reporting of ground and surface water usage in the future, and establishes water data priority areas where this would be prioritized. All right. So, all that being said, there is so much to talk about in the legislature at this moment. And I think that the best thing that you can do right now and the biggest difference that you can make as an individual in the system is to come with us to Salem and speak directly to your legislator during our Small Farms Mean Business Rally Day. This is going to be happening on March 4th. It's an all-day event starting at 9:15 all the way up until about 4 p.m. We are going to give you some training. We're going to introduce you to other people in your districts. You're going to hear from experts on all the bills that we're talking about in these sessions. And you're going to get the opportunity to speak directly with legislators about how this is impacting you, how you're thinking about all of these bills, and what you want them to do. So we are making legislator meetings for every single person who signs up. We take care of everything for you. All you have to do is show up, listen to some great people, eat some great food, and speak to your legislator about what interests you, what concerns you, what moves you in this legislative session. It's the biggest thing that you can do to be part of positive change right now, and we really hope that you will prioritize being there with us. Sign up right here. Brittany can also put the link in the chat, and it'll be in the description of the YouTube video. And we really appreciate everyone who's already signed up. So excited to have you next week. And that concludes my presentation today. So we're going to turn the